Everyone says you're lazy. You scroll through your phone for hours, start things, and never finish. Wake up tired, go to bed even more exhausted. And yet it feels like you've accomplished nothing. The guilt creeps in, whispering that you should be doing more, being more. You begin to believe the narrative. Maybe I am just lazy. But here's the truth. No one tells you you're not lazy, you're stuck. And that's a massive difference. Laziness implies a lack of desire, a lack of ambition. But if you're watching this, if you've ever laid awake at night with 1,000 ideas buzzing in your head, if you've ever dreamed of more but couldn't seem to move the first domino, then laziness isn't your issue. Your heart is willing, but something else is blocking the engine from firing. So, what's really going on? Let's be honest. Most people are not lazy by nature. In fact, we are born with curiosity, creativity, and energy. Look at any child and you'll see what I mean. But something happens as we grow older. Expectations pile up, comparisons choke us, and suddenly, what used to be passion now feels like pressure. You're not choosing to do nothing, you're overwhelmed by everything. One of the biggest culprits behind this stuck feeling is mental exhaustion. You might not be running marathons or building empires right now, but your brain is operating on overdrive. Constant notifications, endless decisions, worries about money, identity. Your mind is juggling 10 balls while you're asking it to juggle 20 more. Of course, you're not moving forward. You're too busy trying not to drown. Here's another reason you're stuck. You're operating under invisible expectations. Maybe you were told success looks like a 9-to-5, a mortgage and a perfect body. Maybe you saw people your age on social media flying private jets and thought, I should be further by now. It should is poison. It creates a false starting point. You begin judging your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20. And that makes every step feel like failure before you even begin. Let's talk about fear. Not the loud kind, but the quiet, sneaky fear that hides behind procrastination. It tells you if you don't try, you can't fail. So you stall. You overthink. You wait for the perfect moment. You convince yourself you need more time, more skills, more confidence. But all you really need is one tiny action. You're not avoiding work, you're avoiding the pain of potential disappointment. And that's human. Then there's the self-worth trap. You can hustle your way out of a mindset that believes you're not good enough. If you subconsciously believe you're not capable, not worthy, not smart enough, then no amount of to-do lists will save you. You'll sabotage yourself before you even start. Not because you're lazy, but because deep down, you're afraid that even your best effort won't be enough. So why try? But here's the good news. Getting unstuck isn't about some massive transformation. It's about shifting the narrative. Instead of saying, I'm lazy, start saying, I'm exhausted, I'm afraid, I'm unsure, but I'm trying. That small change in self-talk can light the spark that sets everything else in motion. So how do you actually break free? It starts with honesty. Acknowledge the real reason behind your inaction. Maybe it's fear of judgment. Maybe it's a lack of clarity. Maybe it's burnout from carrying silent burdens no one else sees. Identify it. Call it by name. Once you do that, you take away its power. Next, shrink the mountain. The reason most people stay stuck is because their goals are too big and too abstract. Get rich, be successful, change my life. These aren't plans, they're dreams without direction. Pick something small, something you can finish today, not next week, not when you're in the mood. Today, that small win builds momentum, okay? And momentum destroys the myth of laziness. Another secret: environment matters. You can't plant a seed in toxic soil and expect it to grow. If your surroundings drain you, if your friends belittle you, if your habits work against you, how can you thrive? Change your inputs. Clean your space. Limit distractions. Find people who lift you, not pull you back down. Sometimes the biggest progress happens when you stop trying to force discipline and just remove the friction. And let's talk about rest. True rest, not mindless scrolling or binge-watching rest that refuels you. You've been running a marathon with no water break. You don't need to earn rest. You need it to function. Recharge isn't laziness, it's strategy. Athletes rest. Warriors rest. High performers rest. You should too. There's also this: you're not behind. Let that sink in. You're on a timeline that's uniquely yours. Life isn't a race, it's a rhythm. And sometimes being stuck is just part of the beat. It's where reflection happens. Just because you don't see the results right now, doesn't mean change isn't happening. Some seeds take longer to sprout, but they grow into the strongest trees. So instead of beating yourself up, get curious. Ask, what's the story I've been telling myself? Is it one of defeat? One of waiting for permission? Is one of fear disguised as laziness? Tell yourself a story where you are resilient, where every obstacle is a setup for growth, where getting stuck is just part of rising. One of the best ways to unstick yourself is to start showing up, even when you don't feel ready. That 5-minute walk, that one email, that journal entry, they matter. Because consistency beats motivation every single time. Discipline is not about doing it all at once. It's about doing something even when your brain tries to talk you out of it. You'll never feel fully ready. That's the trap. You'll never have the perfect plan, so act anyway. Because action creates clarity. Movement generates energy. Motion breeds confidence. Remember, no one climbs Everest in one leap. It's one shaky step, then another, then another. Sometimes progress feels like crawling, but it's still forward. You don't need to leap into greatness. You just need to move. So the next time that voice tells you you're lazy, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I'm not lazy. I'm healing. I'm learning. I'm realigning. I'm getting back up. Because stuck doesn't mean broken. It doesn't mean hopeless. It means something needs your attention. And the moment you start listening, really listening, that's when the gears begin to turn. That's when the fog begins to lift. You are not lazy. You are powerful, capable, full of potential that hasn't yet been unlocked. So give yourself permission to begin again, as many times as it takes. This is your sign to stop waiting for perfect conditions. To stop calling yourself names that were never true. To stop treating rest, fear, or stillness as failure. You're not broken. You're rebuilding. You're not behind. You're becoming. No matter how long you felt stuck, it's never too late to turn the page. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter starts with a single word: begin.